Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day. Before you wonder, yes, that is a fever blister. I could just sit here like this, but you're really not supposed to touch them. I'm prone to getting them, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is a herpes simplex 12 or something virus. So, yeah, I have a fever blister, and I used to get super embarrassed about them and worry about them and want to do surgery on them and remove them and alcohol them to death. Now I use a Breva. This is a lovely commercial for a Breva to get rid of, but I did not put any Breva on today. Now, I shouldn't have mentioned it because now that's all I'm looking at. So, I just wanted to sort of try to get back to normal, and for me that's always a little insane, and come at you with a morning video. You know, just look at my eyes or something. You remember how when I did the live show the other day, we were talking about our best features? I don't like my eyes. I never have. They're beady and small. So there you have that. That's why I chose my legs, I guess. I asked my viewers what their, the live show, what they felt their best feature was. And I was really pleased because they weren't shy about letting me know. Some people are like, oh, I'm hideous from head to toe. You know, there's one thing you like about yourself, even if it's your fingernails, ladies and gentlemen, or your earlobes or whatever. I mean, there's got to be part of you that's decent. So I was really glad that they were able just to say, yep, I got me some long legs, or I have beautiful eyes, or whatever they said. Where am I going here? So, yeah, at any rate, I've just been sort of dilly-dallying about this morning. I got sleep last night. The night before I did not. Yesterday wasn't very good. You know, I was sort of up and down with this sickness. And another reason why sometimes I get a fever blister is if I was fixing to get something more major, sometimes I don't get the more major illness. It just develops into a fever blister. I don't know. How many of you out there have had these damn things? Cold sore, fever blister. I always call them fever blister. Okay, now we can move past my lip for a minute. God, a bird's going to perch on it here coming up. Speaking of birds, they're so cute. Yeah, as I said, I've been avoiding the news, but I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe avoiding the news altogether. Not altogether. I need to know what's going on or what they're saying is going on. That's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. I am very suspicious, as you know, very much a skeptic on things. And the thing that kind of makes me laugh is that some people who are very skeptical seem to stop being skeptical when it comes to accepting official governmental talking points coming at them on the mainstream media and even some of the alternative media. You have to follow the money. Like, for example, the other week I watched a documentary about the funding behind Donald Trump, and I had watched something similar to it before the election. The Real News Network out of Baltimore had put it out, and it was talking about some of the funding that went to him and, you know, so forth, and that Robert Mercer was a major player. And then from Robert Mercer, we have all these other connections and stuff, and turns out that some of those other connections that are involved with Robert Mercer also have a lot of money behind Alex Jones. Now, I'm sorry to say that. I know some people like Alex Jones, but they have followed the money, and I can't remember the absolute details. And this one I'm talking about now, the documentary, was on that Richard Hall Planet TV, Rich Planet TV, and they basically, you know, came to the same conclusions as Real News Network in terms of the funding through Robert Mercer and some of these other characters connected. And Breitbart News was funded by this one who's connected to that one who's involved with Mercer, you know, blah, blah. And, like, right at the same time that Situation X was unfolding, suddenly Alex Jones had his own show in Austin, I think it is, in Texas somewhere. Years ago, I totally liked Alex Jones. I'm just going to confess, because you know how I am. I do that. I'm pretty blunt about it. But, you know, I guess he may be open, he did open a lot of eyes to stuff, but I think that some of his information is not, I think he might be a little agenda-driven. So, I don't know, whatever. I can't believe I'm sitting here talking about Alex Jones. So, and you know, everybody has an agenda, ladies and gentlemen. A friend of mine mentioned today about leading a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, and that is absolutely true. I mean, I used to be a horse person, as you know, some of you know. And Joe the pony was very stubborn. I swear I could, like, carry water galore in the winter or something, and he wouldn't want to touch it, and then it freezes over. Oh, what a pony. But yeah, my purpose here is not to spoon feed people. What I'd like to do is make people curious to look into things, I guess. You know, I'll drop names in here that you might want to look up this, or like Dr. Judy Wood. Because, you know, I still see a lot of comments that are kind of pushing some other narratives, and like I said, I don't usually, like, come to total conclusions. For all I know, I could be a brain in a vat. You know, I've been through that. It just seems like lately I've discovered that a lot of the stuff is, I don't know how better to put it, because it is the word of the year, fake. Fake news, fake information, fake this, fake that. And it's, you know, usually just to serve the purposes of the military-industrial complex. Which often owns the media. You know, if they trace it back to who owns what, and you will see that, like, during the Iraq War, GE at that point owned MSNBC, and I've said this a million times, but I do have new viewers. That, what's his name? Phil Donahue was fired because he wasn't cheerleading for that war, and they didn't want any dissenting voices. They wanted everybody to go along with it. So out he went. It's just really, you know, my father told me years ago, he was very skeptical of that too, of different things, but he told me years ago that just, you know, and I know you've heard it, it's almost a cliche, but follow the money, really. And people, you know, another thing I'm trying to get away from doing is asking why. I want to know what. And I do have to thank that Dr. Judy Wood for, putting that in my head, because like she says, if you really want to know who did it and why and all this jazz on 9/11, first of all, you have to know what happened. Like, I hear a lot these days about how there's a lot of focus on Building 7, and a lot of people are finally just hearing about Building 7 and blah 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 blah. But in reality, it was buildings 1 through 7 that went away that day, which I only learned about a year ago. So, I mean, this media complex and official governmental spoon-feeding stories and whatnot, they are really good at what they do, for the most part. You know, when you have people that don't even realize, some people don't even realize that Building 7 went poof. I don't know what to say. And most people don't realize that it was buildings 1 through 7. But, of course, this is all pointed out in Dr. Judy Wood's book, Where Did the Towers Go? And also her website, which is simply drjudywood.com, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to open your mind, look things up, see how you feel about it, and question everything. Question with boldness, as Thomas Jefferson said. I'm sorry, why am I quoting Jefferson? That's not even the full quote, of course. I'm done. I have to go eat breakfast and get going. It is my deadline day. I just wanted to check in. Wanted to try to get back to somewhat of a normal situation, which for me is never normal. And, God, that damn fever blister. I better go tend to that. I'm going to go do surgery. Okay, Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day. Join me, join others, drop your political identities. Let's focus on issues, leave labels at the door, and research, please, before you judge or draw conclusions. Research is the key, ladies and gentlemen. Love you.